Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. I'm joel.stott.jess with Life in Nica, and this video covers the benefits, things to consider, and strategies for working remotely in Nicaragua. If you're watching on YouTube, the link to the companion article is in the comments section below. And in that article are all the links for the things I'll be mentioning. Now, if you like this video, you can go ahead and like or subscribe, and we'd really appreciate that. And as always, you can check out the site at lifeinnica.com for everything about living and investing in Nicaragua. So let's get started. Are you considering working remotely from Nicaragua? COVID-19 and the quarantines around the world have got a lot of people working from home. I believe there will be a long-term trend towards more companies and their employees embracing working remotely. And more digital entrepreneurs will continue to move from high-tax, low-temperature environments to places like Nicaragua. I mean, if you're going to work from outside your office, just on your computer, why not do so from a tropical beachside locale? As I'm sitting here in sunny Nicaragua, taking breaks from work to jump in the pool or jog on the beach, it made me want to write an article about the pluses and minuses of digital remote working here. So let's start with the benefits. Number one is the low cost of living. My wife and I normally spend about $2,500 a month with everything included. That includes housing, restaurant meals, drinks, good food, massages once a week, a maid to clean our house 2 times a week, gym memberships, cell phones, 2 vehicles, and trips to Managua to go to the mall and the movies. Now, we live really well on that $2,500. The stay-at-home situation with the virus has made us realize we could drop that a lot more. Right now, because many of our favorite places are closed and we aren't going out, we're only spending about $1,600 to $1,700 a month. My Century 21 colleague and his wife normally spend about $1,200 living here as a couple, and I have the link to their budget in that companion article to this video. My number 2 reason is the income arbitrage, and that's related to the cost of living. So it's given that low cost of living here, you can take advantage of the income arbitrage if you can earn North American money and spend money living down here. Now, I know people that were making 60 or 70K a year living and working in the United States and barely able to keep their head above water. They came down here and all of a sudden they were able to keep half of their income rather than spending it. Number 3 is Nicaragua is the same time zone as the continental United States. This is a big one depending on how much you need to be connected during North American office hours. Now, from my personal experience dealing with tech guys in India and Pakistan, I know that it's a pain to have to do things before dawn or late at night. Nicaragua is the same as Mountain Standard Time during the winter and Central Standard Time during the summer. It just changes due to daylight savings time, which Nicaragua doesn't follow because no winter here, right? So if your job requires North American hours, you can have a normal schedule living here and connecting there. Number 4, inexpensive housing options. Both buying property and renting are inexpensive compared to major markets in Canada and the US. That's part of the reason for the low cost of living I described above. So if you can take that income arbitrage, then save that money and put it towards a property, you're really winning. On that note, it's really easy to own property here as a foreigner as well as corporations. This is a huge plus if you're looking to invest here. In Nicaragua, you can buy and own property 100% in your name as a foreigner with the same rights as locals. And you can see the article and the video, 14 things to know about buying property in Nicaragua, for more on all of that. The corporate formation is also easy, and you can own that 100% on your own. It also means that depending on your business, you could form a Nicaraguan subsidiary for tax shelter purposes, and you can check out my article on corporations for more on that. Number 6, it's really easy to get residency by investment. Nicaragua is one of the easiest countries in the world to get that. You only need to invest a minimum of $30K per person into a property or business, and you can check out the article I wrote on that, which I just updated for 2020 with new information. My next reason is you can't beat the location. Like I said, I take breaks to jump in the pool during the day. Sunset, I can go for a surf or a run on the beach. I can wander to cafes or bars to work, and I can get happy hour beers for $1 where I'm doing it. And that is year round, even in the winter. So that's beaches, sun, pools, and even in our rainy season, it's still really nice. I actually like it because the temperatures are cooler and the waves aren't as crowded for when I want to go surfing. I've even got my cell hotspot on my phone, so places like the beach, I can share internet from my phone and get some work done. Next up is community. Now the community here is great, especially where I'm based in San Juan del Sur. The local Nicaraguans are friendly and there are lots of other foreigners to spend time with. There are tons of restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and other places to meet up and socialize, and they'll be open again after all this virus stuff is over. Next up is health and wellness. There are a ton of options to stay fit here when you need a break from the computer. They range from yoga to the gym to surfing, and you can check out my article, 11 Ways to Stay Fit in San Juan del Sur, for more on that. San Juan del Sur also has an excellent school if you've got kids or are planning on it. The San Juan del Sur Day School is extremely popular among the expat families. The teachers are almost all from Canada and the United States, usually moms of the kids, and the curriculum is excellent. So if your kids are going to want a North American quality school, it's great in terms of that quality. They also get to learn real Spanish. Now, as an adult who learns Spanish slowly at a later age, I can tell you it's a lot better to learn it when you're young. And finally, there are good flight connections from Nicaragua. Now, normally, the current COVID situation notwithstanding, multiple flights daily direct from Managua to airports in the United States. That includes major hubs like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Houston, Dallas, and LA. And there are also a lot of connections from the airport just across the border in Liberia, Costa Rica. That includes direct flights to more US cities and some in Canada. Okay, so those are all the positives. Now, what challenges do you need to consider if you're planning on working remotely from Nicaragua? The first is electric power. Now, Nicaragua's power system has improved dramatically in recent years. We used to have long power outages on a regular basis. Now, on average, it's a few hours total in every month. So, if you're working remotely, you need a solution for those times. And I would recommend a battery backup system to power your router, plus charge your computer, cell phone, and maybe run a USB fan for a little breeze if your aircon's off, right? The systems can be bought in Nicaragua here at the big hardware chain Cinta. I personally use a battery backup and a surge protector combo that I bought for about 135 bucks US. It'll run my router for about 4 to 5 hours if the power goes off. Though I would recommend a little more robust one. It's what I'm gonna get next. They sell for about 300 to 400. Now those will run your router plus a USB fan all day. Now, your next consideration is an internet connection. You're going to want to select the right provider for the area of the country that you want to move to. Now, internet connections in Nicaragua have also improved dramatically over the past few years. There are lots of high-speed options, assuming you are near a town or city. It's more of a challenge if you choose to live in a remote location. So if that's a consideration, you can always contact me when making your plans, whether that's for my real estate or consulting services. Now, the best internet connection, in my opinion, is Wi-Fi Nica. They have the best combination of speed, reliability, and coverage. And they have about 99% uptime in my experience. They've got 10 price levels ranging from 30 bucks for 3 megabytes all the way to $160 for 20 megabytes per second. Their speed numbers are fairly accurate for that download, although I do find their upload speeds to be a little slower. So that's something you consider if you are producing a lot of content. Now, I have Wi-Fi Nica in my house right now and it's super reliable. The only thing is when the power goes out. If the outage is widespread enough to get this whole region of Nicaragua, the company network may be down, even if I have the router on that backup power source. So for that, I personally have Moviestar internet on my phone and I hotspot. Between the two, I have 100% uptime. Now, my number 2 option for internet here is Take Nica, and they're the best fiber optic option in the country. Coverage is generally limited to towns and cities, but they're increasing extension into subdivisions and some rural areas close to major centers. Their speed is excellent both up and down. They advertise 50 megabytes a second on residential for $115 a month, including tax. Now, I don't think it's quite that fast in reality, but it's pretty close. My clients have said the only issue that they have is occasional service outages due to physical cable damage. Their fiber optic cable actually runs on the power pole. So in that regard, I would estimate their real world uptime about 97%. So those guys are great for speed, but you definitely need to consider backup if having them. And they do have another price. So in addition to the $115 for 50 megabytes, they also offer 20 megabytes a second for 75 bucks. So my number 3 option for internet is Claro. Now I have Claro on here third, but that completely depends on where you are. My clients had Claro service in the center of San Juan del Sur in years past, and it was the worst internet they have ever had. I think that's because the physical cable lines were old. Then I had it in a newer development in Managua, and it was fast and reliable. So my advice would be to check around the neighborhood and see how the service is, to see if the infrastructure will support it. Where it works, the service is good and prices are super reasonable. 10 megabytes a second for 33 bucks, 20 for 43, and 40 megabytes per second for $49. So if it's in a good area for you, it's great. If not, it's terrible. Now my number 4 is Moviestar Portable, and that's more of a backup or supplementary options. In some markets, Moviestar does offer normal service, but this video is mainly for the coastal region for expats, people like me, so we're gonna go over this area. Here in San Juan del Sur, Moviestar offers a small portable modem with data limits that does run over the cell phone network. Now this is best as a backup option if your other internet goes down or if your Wi-Fi doesn't reach the pool. So speed is 30 megabytes per second where the LTE network reaches, which is most towns and cities, and 5 megabytes per second on the 3G network, which is more of the country. Prices are based on data usage, so 7 gigs a month is $15, 10 gigs is $20, 17 gigs is $30. It never goes down even with the power off. So this is the best backup option and supplements the others I talked about. And just a couple notes on these providers. As I mentioned, the important thing is downtime with both the power and the internet providers. So we get more of both than you would expect in Canada, the United States. And if your work is mission critical and you can't have any downtime, you have 2 options. The easiest is a data package on your phone with hotspot. That's my go-to. Like I said, Moviestar. And for the 2 to 6 hours a month my power is off or the internet isn't working through my router, I just hotspot. Now if your work is more data heavy or if you want a more robust backup, you can get the 2 internet providers. If, for example, you use Communica fiber optic as your main for speed without any data limits, your backup could be that Moviestar portable modem. Then you gotta have 100% uptime and essentially no limit on data. You're not gonna run through that 10 or 17 gigs in 6 hours a month of downtime. Now moving away from the technical side to social-political things, that's the political and international uncertainty, but that's not as much of an issue for remote workers. Now, if you own a bricks and mortar business here in San Juan, you're susceptible to fluctuations in tourism from things like political uncertainty or international issues like COVID-19. But if your online work or business is North American based, it doesn't make much difference to you. Digital workers living here during the political unrest back in 2018 were essentially unaffected. So not really an issue. Next up is banking and transferring money. The ATM network here in Nicaragua is great. Fees for withdrawal from foreign banks are moderate. And if you're American, you could also consider the Charles Schwab account that offers 0 international ATM withdrawal fees. I've got a link to that in the article for this one. Now, if you end up buying property here, it's easy to open a Nicaraguan bank account. You don't need to be a resident or citizen. And when I first came to Nicaragua, I bought property here and opened an account. It took about a week to open the account and about 2 weeks for my debit card to get in. Now, if you don't have property here, but you want a bank account in country, I would consider creating a corporation. There might also be some tax benefits to that corporation as a Nicaraguan subsidiary, depending on your line of business. And if you're looking at that, maybe I can assist with my consulting services. So, to sum it up, if you're a digital remote worker or entrepreneur looking for a base, Nicaragua is an awesome location. There's a low cost of living, North American time zone, good internet connections if you set it up right, ease of residency, beautiful tropical weather, and easy flight connections to the US. So if you want to know any more about working, investing, or living in Nicaragua, please go ahead and contact me. I love helping people move to Nicaragua and invest here. Also, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and like, and I really hope you have an awesome day. Cheers.